Live, 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 live. I don't know if I got this thing lined up or not. These things are so funny. Do I have this thing live? Let's see what's going on. Where am I at? I don't think I got it set up. Anyway, yeah, we even live. Sometimes it be on point, sometimes it don't. What's up? What's up? How you doing? Trying to get this thing set up live, so keep talking. I'm on here for at least an hour and a half. See what I got. Think we're kicking it in. We're coming in. And I said I was coming back today. So there we go. I wanted to get back on before the oh yeah, you want to do that question. You really serious about that question? Is that I mean, all due respect. Okay, I will give you that one. Even though I'm more in a football mood though. I'd much rather almost ask you if you ask me a Packer question, but I'll put your poll question up. Okay. This the only one you want. So this the one because next time I'm doing football one, if I do a sports one. What you mean starting out slow? What do you mean? Because of McCaffrey? Is that because you're talking about Ted because McCaffrey's hurt? Because I heard C-Mac is out. Is that what it is? Um, I don't know. Well, it depends on how Brock Purdy plays. They still got Debo. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I can't say. I don't know. I don't know. Because I got to see who they play in the first 4 weeks. I know he can't carry, but they got enough weaponry to get around it. He's never been meant to carry the offense because if he was meant to carry the offense, uh, okay, Greta, that's interesting take. What do I think? Let's start with that. I don't think they old. I think that I think that the coach is stagnant. I think what has happened is they got stagnant. 4 trips to the NFC Championship game, 2 choke Super Bowls, and 1 blown NFC game with different quarterbacks. What's up? What's up? I think that's the problem with the 49ers. Yeah, his shenanigans, that he should be on the hot seat. See, I'm in a strange place here because I remember the 49ers Harbaugh did a good job with Cap, but Shanahan's had incredible success with John Lynch, and they don't have they get a pass. I don't know why he's getting a pass, but Purdy's young. Debo got another year, and the receiver's young, and they got a young core on defense. They still good enough to come out. They just not getting it done when it counts. That's the problem. Yeah, internet detective, bro Retta, soul brother Retta. That's what they call it. What's up? Glad to have people coming through tonight. Thank you so much. Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, they do. Well, um, if you got a question, ask it. But I'm not in the business of talking about people's orientations, one way or the other on here or not. That's not what I do. And we are not playing guess who's coming to the Puffy party. So I don't know. But you kind of get some situations, but that's a bit complex though. It probably will, but I don't know what bag he's gonna get though. I don't know. A tough division. We got a tough conference. I don't know about our division being tough. We got a tough. I mean, I'm not sold beyond Miami. What am I supposed to look for? The Jets? Will Aaron Rodgers get out the first game? If they don't, I expect a head coaching change. If they don't, Josh Allen will be on the hot seat. If they don't, I expect more heads to roll. If they don't, because they're in the same boat as Dallas. The Jets. What about the Jets? I like their defense. I'll give you that. But am I sold on Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, Ted, I'm gonna give you props. I guess this Bulls thing went better than I thought it was. My bad. I stand corrected. I don't see the Jets as a threat. I think Aaron Rodgers gonna get hurt, but it'll be something. Um, I don't trust their head coach. I don't usually talk about Mr. Clean, but they just seem he reminds me a lot of the meathead who used to coach the Tennessee Titans. A lot of them type of coaches are kind of look alike, kind of the same, very mediocre. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Yeah, Greta might be right. Hard to say because he was talented, but it's still something was missing. I still think they needed another option with him. So it's hard to say. I don't know. Um, mm, I can't call him Fisher Price for one reason. He ain't been nowhere. Whereas Jeff Fisher at least was a run up in the Super Bowl. These guys are just what I call meat and potato regular folk. Meat and potato. They ain't been nowhere. So he's kind of coaching he's mediocre. At least Fisher Price had a Super Bowl runner up. I think that people will kind of come towards them with CJ Stroud. I think I'll say this. That division is either a bachelor pad for one or two teams or one team, or that team is really as good as was advertised. And I think these would be a good addition because everyone was riding on Jacksonville. We don't know what the Colts got at quarterback situation. We'll see how that turn out. But the Texans definitely caught some people off guard. So, but I do believe that one of them young teams will emerge. Everything is geared towards Mahomes and a lot of stuff, and rightfully so. But one of those young teams, they did make the second round last year, so don't act like it can't happen. But you got two of the best teams in your division. You already know that. Detroit and Green Bay are, to me, NFC championship worthy teams. If not one, go to Super Bowl. That's how I look at it. I thought the Lions should have gone to Super Bowl last year. They might be my dark horse to come out and go to Super Bowl this year. The Bears, we'll see what Caleb does. Minnesota, nobody knows. They're the big question mark. Nobody knows how that quarterbacking is going to do with them. So, but Detroit, Green Bay, I think Jordan Love's going to be all right. All right, now keep it coming, keep it coming. The Raiders, really? I like Antonio Pierce. That's a cool brother, but the Raiders, I don't know. I see 9-8. I don't know. I got to see how their season goes, what they do. You know, I don't have a lot of thought. Yeah, I like Michael Penix Jr. Kirk Cousins gonna be playing for a contract, so I expect a lot of offense, hopefully. And they got the right coach for defense, so we'll see. But I don't think they're gonna be no deep threat though. I'm not gonna get ridiculous about it. But if they could prove me wrong, by all means do. Because the NFC got a lot of dark horses. Not so much in the AFC, but the NFC, somebody could catch what you didn't see. Yeah, I don't know. Minnesota, they got their work cut out. Jefferson is gonna be one of those receivers. If he don't play with a legit quarterback, he gonna be almost forgotten. I hope he doesn't go ring chasing late in his career like Antonio Brown or even like um uh, 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 um we were talking about him just the other day when Hank Catch with the Giants ended up winning the championship with the Rams. I'm not thinking right now. He's with Miami, but he's hurt and messing with Kim Kardashian. You know what I'm talking about. But you'll call his name out. But anyway, that's what's up. Yeah, I saw that. Of course. Well, I saw him in the top 4 quarterbacks ever. Well, I ain't gonna go ever like that, but I'm gonna say this: he's in my top 2 to 3 quarterbacks ever right now, to maybe top 2. And if he wins a three-peat, he will definitely be in my top 5 players ever in NFL. Be three-peats. Because when you add all the statistics, the dominance, the impact, and then when you get down with him and Andy Reid, and you get down with him and Kelsey, he gonna be hard not to mention in that context. That's how impactful he is. I haven't seen a quarterback who got a chance to come off with his type of legacy so fast, so soon, so quick. You know? Yeah, well, you know how I feel about Stephen A. Fine bum is a bum, so you know how I feel about him. I don't really take him too seriously, so not a big fan of that. What else I gonna say? I was gonna talk about him. Odell Beckham is who was I trying to. You got no friends in this business. I say this all the time. Watch my videos. People who watch my videos, I talk about all the time in the regular videos. I always say, you got no friends in business, entertainment business, sports business. There's no friends. Because when the money is green and the bag gets times get lean, they'll say anything for clicks and views. Feinbaum is just saying whatever he got to say. They always got someone that's got something to say. Gotta be careful. They pull that Gilbert Arenas mess on you. And you see what happens. I seen it. I did get to catch that video about Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. about Caitlin Clark and all that. It was hilarious. She's doing good. And I never said she wasn't good. However, her fans are annoying. I'm going to say that, you know. This is one reason why I'm glad that when I came along watching sport, we didn't have all the social media. We had people that were annoying. It is a cutthroat business. It's just like that with all forms of entertainment. So let me just cut right through it. I did a video. I talk about Taylor Swift, Donald Trump, Eminem, and Caitlin Clark. And the fans just be bugging to me. I'm not gonna tell you who to like and not to like. However, these people get all this. You can do that, but the Glenn Close thing. So when I was trying to read um, Lee Daniels' thoughts and takes, I'm like, what's he trying to say? But I did say he is a tier version better than Tyler Perry. You take that how you want. That might make you crack up. If it meant for you to laugh, laugh. Basically, he's like a tear up, one tear up. But most people are tripping because they ain't seen Glenn Close in like 60, 80 years. Just saying. She's a good character actress, you know, but it's because, again, this is what's come to. So it's a big video, you know. And I was like, Glenn Close. I said, okay, you know. Obviously back in the day, uh, she did that CC DeVille one, but obviously back in the day with Fatal Attraction, you know. But I guess every what 50 years she got someone with something. Yeah, but it's not quite the same because not really. Madonna always been into black culture. Always. 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 I don't even know Glenn Close like that. I know her, but I ain't never known her. She said this was you know, to be honest with you, she couldn't wait to get the job because let's be realistic. She's not getting Diane Keaton juice. So people who follow me, this ain't no brag or nothing. I keep up with a lot of forms of entertainment, different things. I watch a lot of movies, etc. You haven't had another white actress that's blowed up like Diane Keaton that's of a certain age, unless you mention Helen Mirren, because they don't usually protect old white actresses after they get to a certain point with roles where they'll get to continue to be successful. It just doesn't happen that way. Yep. When I was younger, that was the norm. Shirley MacLaine did that for a long time. The Diane Keaton juice is interesting. Now, Bette Midler, and of course, I can throw Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep can almost pretty much get away with she won't. There's a few exceptions. Um, Susan Sarandon to an extent. There's a few. Of course, there will always be one of my favorites, Jodie Foster. But as far as getting like a feature, you know, yeah, Meryl, and but there's like again, we could name the usual. Now, maybe Kate Winslet, maybe in the future, maybe. She's still young. And I think Kirsten Scott Thomas, maybe. And who else I want to pick on? Um, Now, see, what's her but for $1 Million Baby? She didn't get that bounce. She looked like she was. She won those Oscars early. And not quite. She because of the last name, but she don't carry it. It's not like she's getting Diane Keaton juice. The name is big, but it has to be a role play where she's in the role with others. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm really thinking, it's a real toughie because, you know, but anyway, the point is, it's one of the ones in the blood. No, no, and she's gone too. She deceased. But I will tell you this, when she was younger in her prime, she was a thick one before she put on more pounds. She was bad. I still remember this brother. I never forget, it was a video store back in the day and the movie Madhouse was out. And I remember the brother was playing chess and he said, "That's one of the thickest white girls I ever seen." Kirstie Alley was bad back in the day. She was bad. But yeah, we did Arnell mentioned Fonda. No, Fonda gets like a sidekick. Should have been bigger. Should have been bigger. Sold out. Should have been bigger. The honest was she had some big movies in the 90s, but when Harry Met Sally was her bigger point. But it ain't the same. It ain't the same. You gotta keep calling out some names. Those Kirsty's gone. She's deceased. Fonda is a co-star to something, but it's mainly a name only. And Meg Ryan, it's a woulda, coulda, shoulda. Should have been bigger. Should have been bigger. Should have been bigger. All right, we got 20 votes so far for that 93 or 98 tougher bull. That's interesting. Aniston. Well, you know how I feel about Jennifer Aniston. The hair is bad, but she's whack. I never got the hype behind her. I tried hard to watch her movies. They just didn't do nothing for me. She just never did anything for me. I guess you'll mention what's her butt? Because her movies suck and she's played. The one that was married, Chris Martin from the actress, the one that's friends with Jay-Z. What's her butt? Why am I not thinking? Well, sometimes your brain just be not on point. I like Liz Taylor, right? I met her actually as a kid back in the day. But who am I not thinking of? Gwyneth Paltrow. Yeah, some of that. Liz was cool, but I wouldn't consider her like, no all time or nothing like that. She had some presence, but I wasn't. She was a good actress. Not great though. All I was getting at though to say is this. Diane Keaton's had that game on lock. Like Diane Keaton has gotten bigger, she's gotten older. And I just observed those sort of things. And if I want to mention soul sisters who keep it like Angela Bassett keeps a gig, Viola Davis, because she plays a type role. Kathy Bates, like she could just beat you up. That's why she's like a strong on Rosie O'Donnell. Pam. Pam who? Pam who? Pam who? You ain't talking about Pam Greer. Sidekick, bro. She did do that movie with I forgot who was all in that movie. Sidekick. You got to go back to Jackie Brown. You got to go back to late 90s. But she did the Hood movie with Snoop, which you know, but no one was say, yeah, back in the day, back in the day. But Viola Davis, uh, Octavia, Angela Bassett, they still keep it going. They keep it going. All right, keep on hitting them likes. Keep on and keep talking. Let's keep it going. See what other questions we got. The Bulls thing is doing pretty good. Thanks, Ted. I guess that's a pretty good one. I stand correct. 21 votes so far. I didn't think that was gonna fly. I didn't think it was gonna fly. More people are picking 98 though so far, so that's not a surprise though. I imagine it should be a blowout. Yeah, I just tend to like kind of be thinking about different topics, but I guess so. I guess there's no LeBron fans in here, so and believe me, If I thought that I could do other polls and so things, I would too about certain. If I was going to talk about basketball, but I ain't got no problem with talking about it to an extent, even though I'm more geared for these leaves coming. I don't quite understand the question. If Tarek, you're hyping you to I I did watch some of his interviews and I cracked up at some of the stuff he said because I thought he was comedy, talking about what he would do to Dion and boasting about Tua. I, you know, I like Tyreek. Yeah, he's hilarious. If Tua was top three, he wouldn't need him. He got hurt. Um, there was about a couple injuries in that series. That was a strange series, to be honest with you. But when Scottie Pippen got on Magic, that kind of changed the tone. Paxson hit some big shots. The benches was big. It's kind of a strange series. Yeah, Byron was hurt, but they were out. The Bulls were a better team. They were a better team. I'm not going to make excuses. What's happening? How you doing? Yeah, but two is not top three. Well, the fact I'm gonna tell you like this: the fact that Magic took Vlade Divac to the finals should tell you how great Magic was. Let that sink in. Vlade couldn't even get to the finals with a better Sacramento team. Magic took him. Let that sink in. Well, what happened was I still remember. I thought, what's up, sporting page? I thought the Blazers were gonna win that one in '91, and Magic got that ball and threw it out of bounds, and I was like, whoa. I thought Portland was in the because they were running 3 straight years, if you remember, and they lost. Um, Portland just never finished smart. They were always missing a piece or two. I think Duckworth at center. That's why whenever I could talk about Sabonis, if they'd have had him, things probably would have been different. Because Porter, Jerome Kersey, Clyde, but they were missing that one piece. But yeah, I tipped my cap to Magic because that's one time we're runner up and finished in second place. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see them going to the finals. I didn't see it. Not that year. But anyway, yeah, great to SS. What's up? Got some people coming in now. It's all good. Anyway, we're on the verge of the Kansas City Baltimore game tomorrow. Anybody got some picks? And which team you think is going to do better? Next time I come on, I'm gonna do some football polls to kind of, you know. But Ted got a good poll, and people got suggestions. I will listen to them. I pick KC too. Derrick Henry says he's ready. Anybody watching WNBA? Do you think that they gonna make a noise though? I don't know because I got to see if his body's still the wear and tear. That's my only situation with. Yeah, that's the only problem I had with Derrick Henry. He didn't took such a pound and he did so much with Tennessee. Yeah, well, if you go by last year, yeah, I watch it sometimes too. I think the game will mean more to Baltimore tomorrow. Something tells me if Baltimore don't win that game tomorrow, that could almost be the end of their season. I'm just saying. 'Cause psychologically, you gotta come in and think, and you gotta watch them put up another banner, and, it's gotta mess with your head. Aja Wilson is bad. She be beasting. She just don't get no love. She be beasting. Please hit that like when you come in. Please hit that like, please. See more heads coming in, so please hit that like. Yeah, she's having an incredible season. She should be an MVP candidate number one. But so much agendas in place, though. So we'll see what goes on with that. Just thought I'd throw that in there because that's the big thing that's going on right now. Well, yeah, it's true. They don't like it. They wanna. They. I told you that's an agenda. When you're the best player in the league and they don't want to hear you talk about what's going on, that should tell you what the agenda's about. It's not about how talented you are and the wins that you have. It's about, you know, other issues that they want to sell an agenda because it's not always about what it's me geared to be. And that's what makes it so hard to bear. Because I'm watching someone special. She's got great footwork, you know. I remember watching Lisa Leslie and was impressed with her movements and lateral movements. But this here, Anya Wilson is her footwork ain't no joke. I mean, when I look at her like a female version of David Robinson and Akeem Olajuwon, you need to take note of that. The fellas need to take note. Yes, they are. In fact, they're worse than LeBron's because, again, at least he won something. At least you know, I can sit there and say, even though I'm indifferent, he's been successful. She ain't won nothing. So I'm sorry, but for all that hype, you have to. If you got some kind of ring, you're dominant. You come and said she don't come up big when it counts. So that's the problem. Yeah, pretty much, pretty much, pretty much. It's an agenda. We can't even have a good discussion about it. They do. They don't like them because it's a lot of reasons why they don't like the Bron ones because they think it gets too romanticized. Still playing, got the gold medal, has a baby, and she came back to the States and she's been cleared to play ball. I don't know if she's gonna go back to Russia anytime soon, but she's playing ball. We shall see. She got a wake up call, tell you that much, and we'll see. She's still posting up pretty good and still doing her thing, you know, it's low key. People coming in, please hit that like. Welcome if you hit that like. Welcome it, welcome it, welcome it. Yep. Yeah, I remember. And I remember when she was in that Russian sail and her dreads were bigger than her sail though. That was crazy. The hair went all the way through the hole. I was like, whoa, where's she at? But no, can play. But you better recognize what's going on. So we'll see. We shall see. We shall see. Come on now, got people got some questions. Feel free to ask. I am listening and waiting. We got 27 votes so far, so that polling gotten kind of dry so far about that Bulls. Well, it all depends on what you into. You know, um, there were parts of WNBA I used to like, the team movement, the ball movement. I mean, the NBA ain't that interesting. Just saying, because you got people got problems with the foreign players to take over, and I'm gonna think the NBA will get back on its footing when LeBron, Steph, and Durant are gone, and Kawhi too. So I think when the OGs go, we're gonna find out what's up. Um, I think the WNBA will be making it more appealing. I don't think it was necessarily meant for fellas. I think that it was done as a certain it's not done to be geared unless you're a basketball aficionado or if you're a fan of the game. Okay. Let's just say it like that. But the agenda was not necessarily pro, you know. So it's done in a different manner. It's done in a way that you know there's an agenda. But it should have been about the basketball, and it's not. Because Audra Wilson would be way bigger if it was about the basketball. It's not. It's not. So it did. Well, they wanted a Steph Curry type. They wanted somebody that appeared to the middle of the road, accessible. Um, Good question, Arnell. And that ain't never gonna happen again. You because where do I begin? I gotta say it like this: we lost 30 years of college basketball when cats went directly from high school to the pros, and I ain't mad. However, you never going to get the best because they know they're one and done. And the problem is that um, it's the same few teams and the programs, so there is no good parity. Only if you were to have more upsets, but you don't. Well, that was inevitable. I got a buddy of mine who's a big Clemson fan. I ain't heard nothing from him. He been mighty quiet. I think he gonna be incognito for a few more weeks. Well, the problem with the NCAA is that they were basically a plantation for pro sports. Between Colin Kaepernick and Dwayne Wade, they both talked about it, which is true. They used to have their ways before ages you know, and they were monopolizing it as opposed to just saying they were a minor league for the pros, which they didn't. Cats weren't getting no money for their clothing, merch, and all that. So you got to do what you got to do. I think that the problem is that the team game got turned into the pro game. Well, that was the one of it. It was there before that, but we'll leave that for the NIL. Even though Cat's been getting paid on the table forever and a day, and he and others go to neighborhoods that they know they would not normally go to, but to recruit, they'll sit there and work that charm. They'll work that southern charm and say, "Oh," you know. But I think that team games and that is a different animal. That's a whole different thing. They all do, man. Anybody you want to mention, look at Chip Kelly. Is Chip Kelly? How that turn out? Yeah, I caught the highlights of that Sunday. Now, how'd that turn out? He's still blaming everybody but himself. All of them. Why you think that when they sanction these teams and all these things, they all get sanctioned? Because they done all done stuff. Yep. Learn a couple code words and a couple ways, and he knows what to do. Well, obviously, you got to start with John Wooden. You got to go Shashesky. Got to get Bobby Knight his due. Um, Billy Donovan, even though he ain't doing much in the NBA, Donovan got to give him his due. Uh, got to give Hurley his due. When they have dinner and they'll talk about something that they like, they might even know a rap song. They might even know an art. They'll say something that's name drop to sound like you remember when what's that turkey? Dennis Miller was the comedian that was doing Monday Night Football. He used to read off the sports cards and he would sound like he was hip and happening. And he did that when he was in the Monday Night Football booth. That's what they do. Bobby Knight is one of the greatest college basketball head coaches. I don't care for him personally, but I can't take away his resume. He was great, just like Dean Smith. Well, I like Dean Smith. I have much respect for Dean Smith, Bobby Knight, but he was a great college coach. Yeah, turnovers, pig knuckles, all that. And he will smile and grin, and yeah, he did. That's how you recruit. Why you think they get them big old boys in Alabama, Trent Richardson and Derrick Henry, all them cats? Come on now. Shoot, they went to areas, and I'm not saying everybody grew up rough enough, but they went to areas where they knew they could go, and they got in all the time, just like Jerry Jones all the time. Let me try this real quick if I can. Yes, I can. Anyway, they always do because that's how you sell on the plantation. Um, I just did a lot of reading. Um, I come from a time where you read and you observed and you listened and you had people that were older and they told you things and you observed and you just digested. That's all. I I was fortunate enough to grow up around older relatives and family members, and they were some of the best teachers I could ever had about life in general. Now I tell the story all the time. I get asked about jazz music. I said I was a little boy. I was wide listening to Duke Ellington's "They Take the A Train." I was in Brooklyn back when it was before gentrification, when it was Chocolate City and Malcolm X Boulevard was real. And I just listened. I didn't look at time and I didn't go, oh, that was old timey. I looked and I observed. So even as a little kid, I was aware of Duke Ellington. I was aware of Charlie Chaplin. I just studied that. So you learn those things. That made you want to read. You want to know. That's all. Still learning too. So still learning. Yeah, well, there's a lot of money to be made with a good quarterback. They can't do that in the NFL. Where's the good ones at in the portal? Where are they at in the NFL? But see, in college, they got a ton of them kids lined up. Mhm. And they all learning prorated. They're learning prorated. So that's fine. I got no problem with that. Hey, look, the more you spread about, and I welcome that because I don't have any limits with that. And I have no problem with that at all. By all means, I'm okay with that. You ask a question, I'll give it to you the best of my ability. One thing about here, I don't sugarcoat how I feel about stuff. I have some opinions that some people will agree with, some won't. I can live with it. Because I did a basketball take recently where I said, how come Bill Russell can't be considered the greatest? How come he can't be considered the most dominant? And I will stand by that. Well, thank you. I appreciate your support when you coming through. You know, yeah, I've had topics that I deal with. I told you Barry Bonds should be a Hall of Famer. No one should have anything, and you can't tell me that you can have baseball players in Major League Baseball, which was non-black before 1947, and then you're gonna have a problem and say, "Oh, this steroid." You're gonna have this. Come on now, everybody should get in. They old timer, they set in their ways, they antiquated, and they spiteful. That's how I feel about Major League Baseball. Football, I don't talk about the five greatest running backs without talking about OJ Simpson. Okay. I stay consistent with the stuff I talk about. Just like if you talk about music over the past 30 years in R&B, you can't talk about it without R. Kelly. Just keep it 100. I don't condone people's whatever you want to say on that, but we talking about impact of what people do for entertainment, movies, athleticism stuff. We got to cover the base. So I let that be known. No sugarcoat. And when I said it, everybody went silent. So okay. I think this Bulls polling almost died out though. Where's everybody going? Where's everybody at? If I don't get no more buzz on this on that poll, I'm gonna have to change the question because I think I want. I mean, we'll see. The Hall of Museum for it is. All of them are. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too. Now we get into it about funk music. People ask me about the music. I said they don't include all the great funketeer artists. I said, well, how come Rick James in the Hall of Fame? You know, Ohio Players, the Commodores. I mean, come on now. All the museums is one-sided and not fair. That's how I look at it. And I've been saying that forever and a day. I feel that way about forms of entertainment, music industry, movie industry, all that stuff. You know, I'm a firm believer in reparations. I don't care about none of this politics. I don't be caring about neither one of those logos because it don't really mean nothing. You have to right the wrong spiritually and you have to put it together. That's the only way you're going to make any progress. That's how I look at all things because it all comes back to the same basis no matter which industry we talking about. And they can code words, buzzwords, say this and then the other till you really you can say gentrification, but you have to gentrify and bring it together as one. That's what's not happening. That's what's not happening. So anyway, looks like things that died. What happened? Okay. We ran out of juice. 46, 53, 46, 46 for 98. Hmm. All right. I'm hoping some people come back. Gotten quiet again. Anybody out there got any questions? Anybody got any questions? All right. 46% said Okay. I think we'll get someone on this one. I had to change it up, Ted. You disappeared. I got what happened between Michael Jordan and Bulls disassociation? Um, Great question. Well, he never got no ownership. He never got, he got disrespected in terms of the fact that they fired Phil Jackson. Um, and it just seemed to me like a situation where um heads were going in different directions. It didn't have any real unit. It was business. Jerry Reinsdorf sided with Jerry Krause, and it was a business. It was like, okay, we're going to run this as such. I think that's one of the problems. I said it before. Michael Jordan should have had ownership of the Bulls. I think it was an insult that he had to go to the Wizards and had to go to Bobcats when he should have had some ownership with the Bulls. I think it was a real, that's one of the problems I have with anything with these, especially when someone is attached to something. Because there's no way in the world they could have paid that man without giving him something like that. And that's what happened. So that's my take on that. I think that there was it's criminal how they treated him. He was a huge integral part, and you know, and I don't say that everybody should get ownership with the team that they helped win titles for, but when you think about what he did for the city of Chicago, his impact, his dominance, you know, so I think it's an insult. I've said that. I've not. You watching him? When I say stuff like that, I mean it. Like Magic Johnson got like a token ownership of the Lakers. He should have gotten more than that. Are you kidding me? That man could have been the mayor of LA. Still might could be. All the business that he brought there, the fact that he coined a phrase and a term, yeah, good luck with that. I want it too, but good luck with that. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. It's not how it goes. You know. You'd like to see someone like Mike Tomlin have that opportunity. Um, Phil was disrespected in Chicago. He was disrespected. Um, they may have. They may have. But no one foresaw Shaq and then Kobe and all that. They may have. Well, Stern was a lawyer. See, and David Stern is kind of like Clive Davis, lawyers who run the business and they take care of the middleman. Now, I have a love loathe thing with Stern. I couldn't stand his agendas in politics. However, he made the game corporate enough where everybody could get it. And he took it off a tape delay and he made it marketable. So he was a smart businessman, but he was shrewd. You know, Stern had more feist in him, he had a bit more bite in him. Oh, I remember them days very well. I remember 'em very well. I remember the tape delay game. You know, when people ain't understand when you had to watch a game on tape delay to watch the finals. That was a cold time. Anyway, we got more people coming through. I remember that very well because I was sitting in my mother's chair and everyone was saying the fix is on. They were saying that back then. Dave DeBusschere, who was a great New York Knicks player. Lenny Wilkins was all set. Lenny Wilkins was going to coach with the Sonics. I forgot who they're going to hire. Lenny was going to hire John Thompson, I think, to Seattle. I think that was. Yeah. Yep. That's what saved the NBA. That merger. Pretty much. That saved the NBA. And people don't give Dr. J his due. They don't give him his due. He was integral in bridging that gap. Very integral. Yeah, that envelope stuck. That was hilarious. Funny thing is that when Patrick Ewing got older, was it 2000? He ended up playing for the Sonics. That was so sad. 30 years later. Yeah, Dr. J was very integral. That's an unwritten rule. Everyone talks about Magic and Bird, and they were, of course, obviously with college and what they did, but Dr. J. I know the fish that saved Pittsburgh ain't gonna get the love that Space Jam gets, but he had his own movie. He had the Converse. Yeah, I remember. And I tried to forget because I was out in Seattle area when he played, and it was sad. It was sad. It's kind of like you watching House Party 8 right now. That's how sad it was. Or yeah, I think of some other corny movie. He was and the thing about it is people don't really understand the magnitude, the depth of how great he was. He had hops. He was athletic, and his ABA career. If you use his ABA career, you could almost say top 10 all time just on that alone. I mean, he was something else. He was something else. He was one of a kind, and he had the cool aura too. No, because he knew he was too old. Ship be sinking. One of the greatest quotes. Michael Ray Richardson was one of the baddest defensive guards, and I still say that if him and Bernard King had a teamed up with Patrick Ewing, they'd have won a ring or two because he was bad. It's just that the drugs took over. I seen the cat pick Magic's pocket. Very few cats could pick Magic's pocket back then. He was a bad dude. Yeah, well, Jordan had that backlash with Juanita too, if you remember, since we're going around that time period. Because when she had that clip down there on South Beach, and she taped him with his situations. They don't talk about that. 'Cause when everything went bad for him with the Wizards. But when I say this, I know people are gonna say, "Well, he averaged 20 points." He looked good in spurts and great in some moments. But let's not get it twisted. Washington Wizards Michael Jordan wasn't the half of 98. He had moments, but see, the problem is he didn't have the right team. Had Doug Collins as a coach, and there was too much going on that they could have been a bottom feeder, but at the time they weren't going to beat Philadelphia no player. They weren't going to beat the Nets. Good enough though to probably been in the fifth or eighth slot. Do I see them as a contender? No. Did I think that he was going to be have a deep run? No. He'd have moments though. But watching him with the Wizards is almost like he was. Watching him with the Wizards is kinda like it was kinda like when I watched, you know, Michael Jackson post 95 or so. It had some moments and it was good, but it wasn't the peak prime. It's just a fact. So, yeah, him and Polian got into it. I remember that whole thing. He did, and then they got him with that hockey situation, and he did. What happened was the dynamic of their relationship was actually during the lockout in '98. Because Abe Poland used that against him when he pulled the rug from under him. That's how it goes. And they were on opposite ends about the lockout. So when Jordan got into the brass ring with that, they pretty much said, you either gonna play or you gotta give up. And that's what ended up happening. And the thing is that when he cleared his debt, when he was over as a player, they cleared him out, which is a shame. They should have made that's why this token gesture with Charlotte was like another resort. They've been known. But Stern need him though. Stern need him though. The marketing aspect of it and everything. They have to have the man as part of the NBA. The shoes sell too much. His legacy. Um, he um he um. That's a touchy one because I don't know if he really did from that. I think he got it with the Bulls. Rice and beans, me too. I got some black rice and some beans, vegetarian style. So thank you. I think it happened with him with the Bulls, if I'm honest. I think that was his real wake up time. He didn't get he had to when Jerry Reinsdorf told him, I don't know if I should give you this contract. Um, you to an extent. To an extent. I know what you mean. If you're thinking about what I'm talking about with his father, that's a touchy situation because again, there's a lot. So, when you watch uh oh God, why my brain not working? But the minister who was the mobster, Michael, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, he talked about the Jordan situation. Mhm. So they know all about it. No, you're not the only one. I'll say this. Let me address the both of them. I watched them up close and personal. Not up close and personal, but yeah, that's what's up. I watched the Bulls run in the '90s, and I watched the Showtime Lakers, so I got to see not till I watched those documentaries, but I got to watch different intervals of things. There was nothing that was shocking about neither one for me. I knew about Jordan and Pippen's off relationship, and I knew about Magic and Kareem. Well, it revealed the stuff that was kind of there. It made Jordan like a megalomaniac, but you knew how cold he was, but that's how he was. So that wasn't no surprise. Scotty didn't look good in it because Scotty was always at differential with ownership because he signed bad contracts. Rodman was a wild card, but he happened to fit in. And then they didn't really get into the Craig Hodges situation, Phil Jackson's rituals, um, Tony Kukoc. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, Gretzky and Messi were. Yeah, that's true. The Oilers were big time. Well, Curry doesn't really have anything left to prove because he knows he's not going to probably win another ring, and if he do, they got to strike something that you didn't see happen. I don't see it though, but yeah, probably would get out in a couple years, 2 to 3. But I mean, once he gets 25,000, maybe flirts with 30,000 points, he's got rings. He's got what else is there left for him to do except probably try to own a team. He's not going to. They set such a level of Golden State. Everybody has used that and jumped off of that. So what you going to do? That's what Tatum and Brown are versions of Steph and Clay. Different size and position, but think about it, it's the formula. So the formula came out the bag. Can't get it back no more. He can still have moments, but he's going to. I give him a couple years. I do see it coming because eventually his body will break down. They're not winning. So what's he playing for? And then you look like you just stat padding and you just piling up numbers, but you're not winning. And I know that Adam Silver wants to get the ownership logo on him. That's what I do know. Now he'll retire before that. I give him 2 to 3 years. I think two. I think this Laker deal is his last contract. I do. I do. And I think he knows it's almost over too. You know, he won't get 50,000 points. He if he was to play the long, probably flirt with 42,000 points. He's not gonna have those kind of situations no more because he can't. Not because he can't, but because it doesn't help the team. That's the reality that they're facing. And the reality is, as I said it a couple of years ago, he needs to be the third best player to look like the second or the first or some nights. He can't be hogging it up, and that's the problem. He stifled Anthony Davis, and they've tolerated. So that's the problem they run into. Also, I want to give a shout out to Sporting Page. Thank you again for hitting the membership thing too. Appreciate that. Always welcome membership, so appreciate that. Because once I start getting more members in the thing, I got some more special videos I got planned up. You think I got a lot up now? I got more stuff coming. They want to. That's why they keep telling Forbes how much he's worth $1 billion. And like, I don't really care about all that, but that's the plan. Don't be surprised if they link him, Shaq, and Curry up as owners of some team. Mark my words. That's the agenda. They want to kind of quiet what they do. So I'm going to keep it 100. That's the agenda. Don't be surprised. Hating on Aguirre. Mark Aguirre, he probably is. Probably is. I haven't seen it though. Well, it's working on it. That's the plan because you know you got the Raiders there, and I think the Oakland A's will probably go there. Well, I have to check that out. Gilbert couldn't hold nothing. He got to have the money though. But I think the agenda is for LeBron, Steph, and maybe Shaq. It's gonna be something that you didn't see that I'm been hearing about that they won't because they want to come across that they're doing this because they know what's happening in front of what you see playing. Think about it. I'm gonna be on here for a couple more minutes because I gotta go eat. But think about what I just said. They want what they're diminishing in front to be behind the scenes because they want some ownership to representation. That's what they're going to do. They got a plan. That's their plan. That's their plan. So now, because they're not going to put together a team they could have put together, and that team is in OKC. They do because it's the last of the old guard, entertainment and all that. It's no longer for the fans. It's done as a corporate tie-in because they want to have games streaming. That's where the money's at. And see, TNT is like the last of in your home and all that. They don't care about that no more. It's big business. And they eventually going to get what Noah Lyles was talking about overseas finals and all. Don't be surprised if something crazy that you didn't see coming comes. I'm telling you, it's going to be some stuff that you didn't see that's going to make you look at it because they got agendas. Yeah. So what they're going to do, and see, cable shouldn't be high right now. So that's what's up. And why is cable high now? It's embarrassing. It will be. And what they'll do is probably have divisional teams. They'll probably do it like it's a good business maneuver if it gets the countries interested. Oh, I got a feeling that that's what they wanna do. I think all major sports would love to have a world, but the ML Major League Baseball has done that, but it ain't gonna do that. NFL would have to actually have appeal that would set over there. I don't think they're going to be, but it'll be attractive to have some games over. It's still like a novelty. NFL can go anywhere in the world. The difference is they can sell their brand as they sell their brand. The NBA, on the other hand, wants to mix what both of them don't do, and that is probably take it to where it becomes a world championship. I think that'll come in time. I think that'll be here. Somebody's working on an app right now as we speak. Somebody's working on it now. They'll make it streamlined. I believe that's gonna be the norm. I really do. Anyway, I get it ready to roll. I just wanted to do this quick one. Appreciate everybody coming through. And I will be back. I might be back this weekend. We'll see. See how things go. Appreciate it when it came through. Appreciate the support. Keep on sending requests, watching the videos, and everything. And the best and peace to you. Stay blessed, stay safe, stay woke, stay real. I'm out one time. Thank you. Appreciate you.